Open this public hearing of the House of Representatives Standing Committee on Climate Change, Energy, Environment and Water for the inquiry into the transition to electric vehicles. Today, the committee is meeting in Canberra. In accordance with the committee's resolution, this hearing will be broadcast on the Parliament's website, and the proof and official transcripts of proceedings will also be published on the Parliament's website. Those present here today are advised that filming and recording are permitted during the hearing. I remind members of the media who may be present or listening on the web of the need to fairly and accurately report the proceedings of the committee. I now welcome Associate Professor Nassimi Ertugrul to give evidence via video conference today. For the Hansard record, would you please state your full name and the capacity in which you appear before the committee?
My name is Nassimi Ertugrul. I'm from the University of Adelaide.
Although the committee does not require you to give evidence under oath, I should advise you that this hearing is a legal proceeding of the Parliament and therefore has the same standing as proceedings of the respective houses. The giving of false or misleading evidence is a serious matter and may be regarded as a contempt of Parliament. This evidence given today will be recorded by Hansard and attracts parliamentary privilege. Associate Professor, I know you gave us an opening statement when you appeared before us last time. You're more than welcome to give us a brief overview today if you like, but then we'll just go into some questions that you might have some expertise on to assist the committee. So I'll leave it to you if you want to make another opening statement.
Sure, yes, I would like to do another opening statement just to summarise, I guess, where I stand as well as how I see the electric vehicle aspects. I believe electric vehicle definitely is the future. The future of the electric vehicle is also, I see, as an autonomous vehicles. That's where we are targeting. Autonomous vehicle involves, from my viewpoint, where we will reach the level 5 effectively. I can open up that further if any further information is needed. And also, autonomous vehicle is possible by digitization. We are already digitizing in every level, as we are all witnessing. And then, but I also see the hybrid vehicles are here to stay maybe another decade or maximum probably 2 decades. Okay, what is the key here is, I guess, the key issue in electric vehicle, which I see as a mobile system, is the energy storage. I also see the energy storage is still in its infancy. We just started. We are witnessing in many areas, but it's still not fully mature, I would like to say. In energy storage aspects, things to solve, especially for mobile system like electric vehicle, involves energy density, power density. These are all has to be measured based on weight as well as the volume, key aspects, and safety issues, as well as the C ratings. Last time I talked, but C rating means at low cost C rating. I can open up that as well. And the key technology in electric vehicle is the power electronics. This is also my specialization, because power electronics not only involves the driving these systems, making move effectively, accurately, and then safely, and also charging energy storage systems. What is happening in power electronics is, in my view, is really a revolutionized development. What we call it, instead of the silicon transistors, we are now using, it's coming commercially, wide bandgap devices. These wide bandgap devices include silicon carbide and gallium nitride, most popular one, but there are others, very wide gaps are coming. When these comes, what will happen, the motor drives as well as these charging systems will shrink greatly, and we will have a very highly compact and a lightweight electronics becoming available. These likely to be a part of the vehicle, what we call it onboard chargings. On the other side, the power, effectively charging power side, and currently, as we know, the government is subsidizing mainly private companies to increase the capacity of the grid, as well as utilizing large charging devices distributed around the country. And what I was aiming to say that because of these developments, these are likely to change as well as will not offer a direct solution. It may look like a solution, but it will be a very costly, in my view, unnecessary. Finally, I would like to say that the capacity of the grid connection is the key issues as discussed by many. However, I would like to indicate that there is a way to increase this capacity as well as the charging points with a minimum cost, which I call it the community level storage, or somehow a typical, I mean, I can expand on this one. That kind of storage, battery storage system can offer a very low cost and highly distributed, also primarily DC charging points everywhere around the world, including Australia as well as around the world. They can also offer a very large charging platform, which is vital for fast charging, means quick charging of the future electric vehicles. Yeah, that's all I would like to say.
Associate Professor, thank you very much, and thank you for agreeing to come back to the committee with another round of discussions. I just will kick off with one question, then I'll hand over to my colleagues because I had some chance to speak to you last time. The community level storage that you were talking about, can you expand a little bit on that? What do you have in mind when you talk about community level storage?
Okay, I did involve in ARENA projects. It was called Australian Energy Storage Knowledge Bank project. This was a couple of $1 million project. We were the first group develop what we call it microgrid test platform.
Yep.
As I mentioned last time, I also included this one in my new book, which is published. This concept I also was promoting since then. Community level storage is this. As you know, that currently the households has a rooftops.
Yep.
And then we put solar panels there, and also distribution sort of system operators restrict that power as we include more, restrict the power, say, export to the grid because of the various issues I can talk or you may be aware. What I'm saying, this restriction is really coming from the demand and then generation imbalance primarily. And then some people, or I will call it early adapters, who has resources to develop that further, they include batteries, as we know. Yeah. This is a good package. However, this package is not economical, not solving any problem. What I'm proposing, which has already started to happening in Victoria and New South Wales under the name of community battery storage, which I also expand that further. Like instead of putting any restriction of roof spaces, we can simply ask the consumer to put as much as utilize as much as roof space as possible. Instead of offering a battery storage in each house, we can offer as a community, like a beginning of a street or region or shopping centers, which has a much larger roof spaces. This will simply reduce this generation and demand level, not peaky, will become much smoother, as well as a large storage is available there with a zero restrictions to the grid. In addition to that, that can also solve those, what we call it, power quality problems about the export limitations. That will entirely solve it. This technology does exist. It is already promoted by some others. That's what I'm suggesting. That battery storage, large battery storage, will be much more economical. It can also offer a fast charging when we have or charging spots distributed around any suburb. Theoretically, any street can have a charging spot. That's how I promote.
Thank you for that. Dan, did you have any questions? And then I'll go to Bert.
Yeah, I do. Sorry, just let me bring up what I was doing. Last time when we spoke, you were saying that the technology is getting better and better throughout this. where do you see that we will be with the electric vehicle market and batteries into the future? How will we get to a spot where it's easy to use in the cities and easy to use in the regions?
Are you referring to the community level aspects, or?
More around the vehicles themselves. So not the community level batteries, but the batteries that are in the vehicles. How will we get it so that it's a thing that can be used well in the cities? And you said that there's better technology coming in the future around this. What is that actual technology for those batteries?
Oh, well, I guess that I indicated that this energy storage aspects I considered under, I think, 4 items. I indicated energy density, power density, safety, and C ratings. Of course, the cost is another issue. What that means that we, especially in mobile application, maybe, by the way, I will add something else there. The power electronics is the one driving these technologies. And an electric vehicle is not unique. As I mentioned last time, any mobile system, electric airplanes, electric buses, electric trucks, all uses the same technology. If there is an improvement in all these areas, it will effectively push the same areas for the sedan level vehicles or bus level vehicles. Therefore, these developments will has an impact on it. When you come back to the battery storage, I think some of them I see personally as a habit. In fact, even now we have enough range in electric vehicles that I will say. Plenty. I mean, average kilometer we do in here as well as in America, Europe is much shorter, is 60, 70 kilometers per day. When we are considering this, effectively, when you charge the vehicle, it will travel a couple of days easily. That what I was talking about, this community level, because one of the major aspects here is of course the lifetime of the existing batteries. That's a restriction because it has to be replaced by a certain time frame. But another key aspect, as we know, is the charging time. We are all anxious about how quickly charge. That's what I'm saying. To quickly charge, the solution is in the existing system where people are trying to do it. Put more wire, more cables, increase the capacity of the network, and then because that wire and cable will provide very large currents to charge the existing batteries fast enough, like 10 minutes. My point is that is not the way to go because you are still increasing the peak in a different level. What I'm saying that already we have a problem in the grid. We are putting restrictions not to export enough energy to the grid. But I'm saying that there is enough energy in the rooftops. We may call it roof farm. 3 roofs are already established there. We can put panels as much as roof can occupy and dump that one into a local larger battery storage, which is much low cost. I also wrote technical paper indicating these. And that sort of large energy storage system will make the power quality well, at the same time can offer multiple outputs to do slow charging as well as fast charging. Once you address that, that's my point is, every street can have one of these, solving the grid problem at the same time. At the same time, offering network, no network load in this system, 0. If there is an excess energy in this larger battery system, that can be sold to the grid. That is there. These technologies exist.
Okay,
if we are talking about other advanced technologies, that's an add-on. It will come and then gradually improve those systems. But this system does exist already.
Thank you. Bert?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Associate Professor, for your comments today and also previously. Could you please provide us some overview and some comment on where you think battery technology is going? We know that technology is always improving and advancing, and a lot of our battery systems at the moment are based on lithium ion, but I know there's a lot of work going on with other battery types. So can you give us a bit of an overview as a committee, what are the other battery technologies being worked on and how will they assist deal with some of the issues that we're talking about?
Are you referring to the electric vehicle only or in battery storage in general?
Well, I think both for storage and for electric vehicles.
Okay. Oh, that's an interesting aspect. When we, for instance, maybe I will start this way. The battery technology currently accepted by the community or in general is effectively, as we all know, based on the maturity. Means when the technology is mature enough, is proven, reliable in certain level, we go for it. This applies to everything. Therefore, currently lithium-based batteries are mature enough, although they may be risky in some applications, some of the types. We do know how to handle it. That's where the safety aspect comes in. We know how to put the fire down or contain it and so on. Electric vehicle batteries commonly uses a little bit more safer version and mature technology, lithium iron phosphate type. But there are many other lithium battery options. One of the key aspects, the one to be used in electric vehicle, I think last time I mentioned a few times, which is called C rating. C rating means how quickly you can charge, how quickly you can discharge the battery. Therefore, these are different chemistries. They are expensive. What is coming in my view as a competitor, probably solid-state batteries are going to come because they will offer a much better packaging. They are, I will call it, they are more close to the maturity. Of course, there are many other chemistries are coming, but I don't see anything at this stage to become, because it has to be demonstrated, it has to go beyond the laboratory levels.
Yeah.
Because the battery is not only a battery, it has to have, as I said earlier, power electronics, units to charge and discharge, watt rate, and then we shouldn't forget this power and as well as energy density aspects. If I put this way, electric vehicles requires a high C rating batteries, whichever provides that. Competitors are lithium battery chemistries, phosphate types, and C rating higher. And safety is also an issue. Other one is energy and power density. This energy and power density, as well as the C rating, is also very important in the sense for stationary applications. The one I was talking about, the community battery storage, they don't need to be high C rating batteries. They can be a very low cost batteries. In fact, those batteries can be also the batteries recycled from the existing electric vehicles end of their life. We can use electric vehicle batteries end of their life when it reaches to 78% capacity, depends on applications, can be refurbished and may become a part of the stationary battery, as well as stationary battery doesn't need to be lightweight as well as the low volume, because we have a better volume areas and so on. Yeah. And also stationary, no issues about the assembly aspects. Even the safety is not a key issue because we can combine it and then restrict it. They can offer a very low cost energy storage for the battery. Because since their capacity is larger, you can throw larger current in those ones and longer period of time at very low cost. Does it answer your question?
Can you talk to us a little bit more about solid state batteries and where that technology is and how that would maybe solve some of the other problems we've been talking about?
But solid state battery technology, I think last time I have probably mentioned that I visited Japan. Japan is pushing that technology. Mm-hmm. Solid state means every battery has an electrolyte. This is not in that form. It has I didn't talk about some other issues about the battery aspects. This effectively the life cycle means how many times you can charge and discharge. That also defines the lifetime. In addition, these are very safe, no risk in operating, no risk in impact, because lithium battery says even if the safest one has an issue about the impact, means if something hits. In fact, that's one typical test is called the nail test in lithium batteries. What they do, they take in the laboratory environment, they take the battery cell, they put a nail on it,
Okay.
a hard nail. That means seeing the impact of it. I have seen some batteries, and also in Japan some years ago, Toshiba batteries are very good. You put the nail, nothing explodes.
Yeah.
Fire is very contained. But other conventional batteries currently used in vehicles, that's probably where the impact comes in. Although we may not see an impact in an electric vehicle, but we will see some form of impact. Therefore, it may still cause uncontrollable fire, as we have witnessed.
Yeah.
They are good. Their life cycle is much greater than existing life cycle of these lithium-ion batteries. They are also shape can be also very packed format, because that format allow us to distribute around the vehicle. I've just recently seen the fuel cell vehicle in Japan. Then I said, I assume that because if you look at the electric, say, fuel cell vehicle in a car, the back middle seat is gone. There is something bumped there. I said, did you put the tank there? They said, yes, we put the tank there. Tank has to be in the middle, and also in the middle of the vehicle, very safe platform. Currently, electric vehicles are also doing that. One aspect is about the center of gravity. It's at the bottom, like a skateboard chassis level, but still a risk in terms of impacts. But if you have a solid-state batteries coming in, you can put in between the doors and the cavities, distribute anywhere you like.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Libby.
Thank you very much, Professor Ertugrul, for being with us today. I'm from the electorate of Corangamite, which is a regional area in Victoria that takes in the Great Ocean Road and the Bellarine. And for my constituents, they have got concerns about ease of access to charging and the time it takes to charge. But you really have covered that issue, and you seem to be confident that we can actually resolve those issues. And I do note what you've said about community batteries, and I think it's something that the committee will certainly note and consider, because I think that makes absolute sense. I have a very high take-up of solar on rooftop in my electorate. So the other area that my constituents are concerned about is the sustainable recycling. It's something that comes up very often. How do we recycle batteries? Because it's an argument for why we shouldn't embrace EVs, and I'm interested to get your thoughts, and particularly around the viability of Australia having the capacity to manufacture these batteries, but also to embrace them and create a recycling industry.
Thank you for the question. I'm very excited now. As I said, I involved with this ARENA project, and then that, in fact, all the material in ARENA is effectively, I have some copy of the earlier proofreading copy of this book here. In fact, this book includes last chapters is all about this. I'm also currently trying to develop another project with some industrial partners in this community level storage. We did apply to the other grants with some local communities. As you know, in South Australia, there are many regional Aborigines communities, about 16 of them far away, and then their energy is provided by diesel generators. And government pays for it. And I promoted this within the last almost 5-6 years very actively. And then another involvement, I saw that councils may involve in this project. I indicated, I wrote these ones. Any council can involve in these projects. Especially, I did work we did some preliminary work in Port Pirie area where the Regional Development Australia was active. This community level storage is I honestly believe is the way to go. This is a perfectly suiting to the South Australian environment because of the distributed platform, not easy to access. And of course, we do forget that the cost of energy, I said one statement last time, energy price will never go down if you don't go this way. That's how I firmly believe. It's impossible to go down. In every opportunity, I raise this issue. End of every talk I made, a few months later, energy price increase.
So, in regard to the sustainable recycling,
yes,
what are your thoughts there?
Also I taught heavily, as I said just briefly earlier. Electric vehicle batteries have a very short life cycle because of the capacity. Because you can keep riding, but you may not be able to charge quickly if it ages that level. You may not be able to also discharge quickly. The vehicle may also respond slowly. Therefore, those batteries, what we call it second life. Second life batteries can easily become a stationary battery in communities. We can refurbish them. There is another life is called, I also indicated different platform. The third life is also possible. Third life means that you dismantle the entire battery packages. You may still, because these packages are made for little cells, there may still be a cells which is still good. Some cells may fail. You can remove the bad cells, replace with the good cells, make a new package, and use somewhere else. This is still a storage. Of course, when it comes to we call it end of life, what do you do? I did also involve in another project, which is called CRC, Cooperative Research Center, FBI. FBI stands for Future Battery Industries. I led that one in South Australia branch. We had that project, which is currently running for mining electrification aspects. In fact, that time, this project originally started from the Western Australia. In South Australia branch, as a South Australia branch, we pushed this one to cover that these lithium battery material level has to be bring to the full cycle. Full cycle includes how to develop battery technologies, how to develop electronics associated with these, how to develop also recycling aspects. Look at these aspects. We do have capabilities, I certainly believe, adding value to the lithium in Australia will put Australia is the top of the class. And then we also have the capabilities to develop electronics technologies. We are not going to develop the semiconductors, but we can develop these technologies for electric vehicles, including full charging system, different scales. Charging system for vehicle can be developed. Charging system for these stationary systems. There are some companies in small scale, they are doing it already, like a large battery storage systems. This can be developed. This technology. Final recycling, you may ask. In my view, I believe I've also witnessed very interestingly this might be recent visit in Japan. Japan is extremely good in recycling. Every level is unbelievable. Every part, they don't simply crash as the Western does the entire vehicle fully. They separate it. Every vehicle has a good parts and bad parts. Then when they compact it, the vehicle became normal vehicle. This applies to the electric vehicle too. They always separated. Only the metal part they just dump into the furnace directly. That's very efficient to do melting again, getting a vehicle quality material. But finally, batteries, in my view, has to be recycled by the manufacturers. That's what I push. The reason is that some sort of percentage of that cost may be imposed by the government, that maybe subsidize this level, because these companies are already handling these materials. These materials are risky materials. Why shouldn't they include that one in the cost? Because when they recycle it, they can easily recycle it without a further risk. They can also reuse it directly without further aspects. This should happen end of the life rather than building recycling plant here and there. That's what I propose.
Okay, so that there should be legislation that says that the manufacturer must recycle the end product.
Why not? It's also more economical, because otherwise, if you do it here, what will you do? You will send it to China or Japan or Korea or Germany? What's the point? There's no point, because they will directly use it. They can take it back. I mean, I would call it take your risky component back if you are going to sell it. It's also logically correct, economically correct. That's what I believe, not only environmentally friendly.
So the first and second stage is saying where we rebuild the battery, and you were saying that there's a couple of stages where, would you say that there is the capacity to do that in Australia?
Oh, definitely.
And is the government, do you think that companies will take this up on their own, or do you think government has to incentivise it?
Definitely. That's my point is, if I put this way roughly, rather than, if I put some sort of picture, rather than subsidizing distribution, transmission companies to build a capacity for to distribute charging system, my point is, if you subsidize the community level storage, which will definitely offer a low cost energy, I can guarantee you, in every level, I can follow days on these aspects. Then therefore, the community level storage will provide you a low cost energy for the local community, by the way. Low loss also. I didn't talk about the loss. Loss is a significant issue. We are already subsidizing the loss in this big grid. We are providing the services to the other people because they are living far away. Why should we? If it's a community level, we don't need. By the way, community level storage is the key for the future environmental impact. Heat aspects, tornadoes, those things will not affect the community, or it will affect one community, other community is still active from the energy viewpoint. As the aging community as we get age, you see we will rely on the electricity more than before. Therefore, we would like to keep having energy connected. In South Australia, there was one tornado. My house was 1 week without electricity, 1 week. I did manage it because of my, I guess, technical expertise level. But these are in every level more. Okay, come back to your question. Because these technologies are almost repeating everywhere. Whoever handles the battery will be able to handle dismantling it. Whoever handles the electronics, of course, further training may be required, which some of my job as well as others simply, that's the purpose of the book as well. Because the book, in fact, that I'm not only promoting my book, I think the final chapters of the book doesn't exist anywhere because companies simply keep some of their knowledge for themselves. What I did, I released all the ARENA project data. ARENA project is a knowledge sharing, and I said, here is the knowledge for you to use it. These are very basic electrical skills, I will call it, to develop those skills.
Associate Professor, thank you for that. Can I just ask, with respect to what is happening in the market right now with electric vehicles, what do you see as what I would call the most urgent problems that need to be addressed? I mean, you said you believe that electric vehicles is the way to go, and I accept that. But right here and now, we have a community that has reservations about them. What do you think is if you were to say that the issue that needs to be given priority to give consumer confidence, what would you say it would be?
I guess.
You know, just to give you a couple of examples, would it be making batteries that take the cars from 500 kilometres to 1,000? Would it be fast charging? Would it be ensuring that the grid can actually charge all of the vehicles? Which is the one where you think we are not quite ready yet?
I guess if you ask me, you didn't ask me whether I have an electric vehicle.
Yeah, do you?
No. Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, you may say, why didn't you have it? I think when I ask question, this is what I ask. I said, okay, looks good. I will like it. My next car will be electric vehicle, no doubt. Right. When will I get it? The end of my current vehicle. Current vehicle is a hybrid.
Yep. As is mine.
End of that life, I will definitely get electric vehicle, no doubt. The next phase, I will think, where will I charge? Not through the grid. As I said, the grid electricity will go up and up and up and up. If you have probably seen that in some cases, the Tesla battery was charged with almost same cost as the grid electricity cost in the grid, normal grid. That's not the way to charge. My point is, first time in the history, we can generate our electricity locally. Therefore, if this technology becomes widely available, technology is there, but not widely available, like a plug-and-play options. Yeah. If it's available there at the low cost, people sell the charger. I asked the chargers to those people, last week. They said $2,000. I said, why is $2,000? Normal charger, which is a DC-DC charger, is, I'm not exaggerating, should not be more than $200. Because they consider it as a specialized something. Yeah. Not many product available. Yeah. If the competition is there, that should be $200, not more than $200. No way. I'm a power electronics person. The second aspect is I asked, by the way, I said, how much warranty you give? They said 8 years, this many kilometers. I said, how much it will cost me to change the battery, end of the life? He said, $10,000 to $15,000. I'm effectively not ready to pay the fuel in advance. Yeah. I'm happy to pay in advance if I charge myself. Yep. I charge low cost. But we shouldn't see these aspects. I think I try to emphasize it. Energy cost is the key in the future in every aspect. Therefore, if we are thinking that our electricity is already going up, it will go up, how will you afford the electric vehicle? If the electric fueling same cost as the normal fueling, why should I get it? Yeah. I won't.
So can I ask, why would you switch from a hybrid?
Range is not an issue. That's my view. Range is not an issue. If you distribute, that's what I'm saying. If you distribute these things widely in the community level aspects, you will come across something. If the community level capacity of the larger battery will charge your vehicle in 10 minutes to give you 200 kilometers extra easily. That this technology exists. I'm not making up anything.
Yeah. So why would you go from a hybrid to a full electric? Given that you said earlier that most of the days you would only do 70 kilometres, or most people would, and that probably applies to you as well.
I think that this is also mentioned in my book. I think the oil will diminish anyway, whether Trump comes or the other one, what's called?
Kamala Harris.
Kamala comes. The oil is diminishing. Right? There is no way. We may carry on another 40 years, that's fine. The other aspect is things becoming digital. In fact, the electric vehicle is interestingly, will become very unique. I think we didn't talk about autonomous. It's becoming autonomous. Autonomous will become autonomous also when the GPS communication gets faster. Driving autonomous vehicle will be piece of cake. It's not fast enough yet.
Okay.
Technology is there. It will be very low cost.
Yep.
very low cost. Because if you think about autonomous vehicle now, that some big companies employ, they take the normal vehicle, electric vehicle. Autonomous vehicle has to be electric. If you take the electric vehicle, they put another $100,000 sensors to make it autonomous.
Yeah.
But the technology becomes available, which will happen in maximum 10 years' time. It will be very easy to implement.
Okay. We've only got 5 minutes left, but I'm going to hand over to Zali Stegel.
Thank you. I should just say I drive an electric vehicle. I've got a hybrid from the government, which I'm looking forward to getting rid of, but I drive an electric vehicle, and I should say to the Chair, it's cheaper, more efficient and fantastic to drive and safer. So that would be my feedback of why you pick an electric vehicle. Where I'm curious about, obviously, the questions around storage and the grid, I think the big area of development is getting to vehicle-to-grid charging and storage, getting that two-way, so that essentially, rather than looking at batteries at houses, we're looking at using all these vehicles as additional grid storage, because the grid storage capacity in all the vehicles is huge. I know there's the problems of some of the car manufacturers don't want to see their vehicles being used in that way. But what are your thoughts and what do you see are the obstacles or the timeline in getting to more effective two-way vehicle-to-grid charging and storage?
Oh, that's a very good point. I think in my last talk I mentioned that now it's called vehicle to X, not grid. It means from vehicle you can give to anywhere. That may include the house. If your vehicle is a large, like a bus can become an emergency power for the community, same community. If it's isolated, it's the same technology. That's almost same as this charging cost I mentioned that. If the more players comes into the market, the cost of these will go down, and then also consumer will demand that one. Why shouldn't I use my vehicle to power my house? I think currently they are restricting this one. They are saying that because I cannot warranty it, because the cycle life becomes effectively used while the vehicle is stationary. Why not? It's my vehicle. I think the government may play a role here, but if the more players comes into that, effectively technology also exists. It's easy to implement. The cost will diminish, will be reduced quite significantly. Some vehicles already has that technology. Yeah. I should be able to plug in and use the way I like it. In fact, I didn't say something last time. I believe I also wrote quite a few articles. The future is also not AC, it's a DC. This AC concept, if you know the electrical system is AC, that is going to, in my view, disappear in 20 years' time. Everything is already DC, because the DC is more efficient, very efficient. Right? Currently, what we are doing is we are taking the DC, solar system is DC, battery is DC, we charge the battery, and then we convert that to AC and give it to the grid. Each time when we get from the grid, we lose about 10% of the energy again. That's called round-trip efficiency. If you use directly, that's what I'm saying, the technology, this vehicle to X or something, I think, first of all, has to be DC, because if you charge directly from the battery, which is a DC, you will save at least 5% of the energy. I fully support.
Professor, if you use your battery to recharge your home, will that reduce the life of the battery? You know how we talk about 8-year life of a battery. If you're using it, apart from driving, also to charge your house, then would it reduce the life of the battery?
It can, depends also how you use it. I guess what the demand is, because, I mean, let me put it this way. Car batteries capacity is not less than 100 kilowatt hour, plus 100 kilowatt hour. Yeah. The average household consumption, typical household, is about 12 to 15 kilowatt peak over the entire day. But I think my view is if the system is efficient, your battery capacity will be hardly effective. You will only use in an overnight, could be a couple of kilowatt hours.
Okay.
Over the size of the capacity available is negligibly small. It will diminish, but if it offers you a low-cost energy, that's, I think we should not forget it. I'm charging from my household. I'm also giving back to my house.
Yep. No,
That level, but versus which one will you choose? Charge from the grid, which is almost same cost as the petrol, which will become like that. That's what I believe.
Associate Professor, we've run out of time. Thank you very much for appearing before the committee again today and for the evidence you've provided. You will be sent a copy of the transcript of your evidence to us. If you feel you need to make any corrections or additions to that, please feel free to do so. But once again, I do thank you on behalf of the committee for your appearance today and a few weeks ago when we first talked.
Thank you for inviting me, as well as letting me to share my views as well as my research. These are all the byproduct of these works, including even ARENA. I think without ARENA, I will say, we want to reach this level of knowledge.
Well, I wish you well with the research you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right. Okay, with that, I declare this public hearing closed.